everybody. Good afternoon. It is a little bit after the hour of 12. Let's go ahead and start our meeting. Great to have you all at the August 9th Kiwanis Club of Easton. We have a moment of inspiration.
I have two moments of inspiration today, courtesy of our daughter. Jennifer had posted these a while back. When you wake up, it's like opening a new book. Make your life your favorite story, because it's a lovely story that happens to be true. You are the main character, and you get to decide how you would like your story to transpire. You create your reality. As the author of your life, you can change scenes and make anything happen. Don't play small. And the second one, about new beginnings, appropriate for today for our new member. New beginnings are a time for celebration. A seed must be watered in order to sprout. A lot of work occurs below the soil. And when the seedling pushes through the dirt, it's a sign of growth. Growth is not a simple process. It can be painful and gritty. If it feels difficult, remember that you too will soon bloom. Allow yourself the time to push through the soil.
Thank you, Robert. Scott, would you like to, I'm going to give you the and allow you to be on the Zoom recording. Well, Sharon.
First of all, welcome to your induction ceremony. It's very nice to have you with us. It's nice to have you with us over the last several weeks, and now you made the great decision to join the Kiwanis Club. So one of the things about this club, I'm sure it's not unlike many clubs, but this is the one that we know and know well, is that it has a very rich history. And I think that's one of the things that those of us who have been in the club for many years really appreciate, the richness of our heritage and where we came from and the things that have happened throughout the years to the organization. As a matter of fact, we have with us Roger Connors, who is the, I'm not going to say the oldest, the longest serving member of this club. Roger, you date back to what year do you date back to?
1963.
63, and I think he's followed by perhaps Charlie Adams, and then Bill. I think you're next, and I think I'm next in that line. So
Vic Dennis in here too.
And Vic Dennis, yes, he's ahead of me. But I think one thing we have in common is we all appreciate the heritage of the organization, as well as everybody who's in it now. So when we came in years ago, there was a kind of like a ceremony where a gentleman, and Walt, Locke Peak, you were the one who, I remember, I couldn't remember his name. Locke Peak was his name, and there were others that had done that. But you would walk up front, and he would stand next to you as you were being inducted and recite the history of the club and all of the things about it. And it was so eloquent and committed to memory. And I can't do that. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. But hopefully this will serve to give you a little bit of an overview of what this organization, the Easton Club, is about. So pardon me, but I'm going to read it and just listen to it. If you have any questions afterwards, I doubt you will, but if you do, we'll be happy to answer you. So Sharon, as a newly inducted member of the Kiwanis Club of Easton, you're now part of an international organization of men and women who share the challenge of community and world improvement. There are members of the Kiwanis family representing nearly every culture on every continent, all seeking to improve people's lives. As a Kiwanian, you're expected to give your time to make our community and world better places to live and work. As members of this club, your club, you will have opportunities to make business and professional contacts, learn firsthand about local, national, and international issues, improve and use leadership skills, participate in the life of your community and world, and develop lifelong friendships. And I would like to emphasize the lifelong friendships. I know there's people in here that we go back 30, 35 years, would have no other opportunity to meet them through the Kiwanis Club. So that's very, very special for sure. While the members of this club are very proud to be an integral part of the Kiwanis International, we take great pride in the long and rich history and heritage of our local organization, one that you may now call your own. Well, you will in a couple of minutes, as soon as you get your bed. So on July 18th of 1918, 100 members of the newly chartered Easton Kiwanis Club held their first meeting at Sipes Cafe, the area's premier restaurant. You know where Sipes is? Out by the Palmer Mall, out 1818 Tavern, Sipesville. Yeah, so that's where this really all came about.
Downtown Easton. Downtown where City Hall is. Or City Hall is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected. See, that's why we have these guys come. I always thought it was one out there. So, all right. So downtown Easton. All right. The first meeting held at Sipes Cafe. The charter membership included a future judge of Northampton County, heads of local and industrial companies, leading merchants, physicians, bankers, city councilmen, city commissioners, 3 mayors, 7 members of the Lafayette College staff, and a future chief surgeon at Easton Hospital. Our club was the 99th, this is in the entire organization, Kiwanis International, to be chartered, and dues were $5 per year. They're not $5 a year anymore. Okay, but they were increased to $10 a year in 1920, and have significantly accelerated as years go by, and probably will continue to do that. That's just the way it is. Following several happy years at Sipes Cafe until the onset of Prohibition, so you know what the original years were all about, the club held its meetings at the Carlton Hotel, which was at 3rd and Spring Garden, which I guess now is became the YMCA, right? 3rd and Spring Garden. Mm-hmm. Okay, until the completion of the new Easton Hotel. Kiwanis meetings then were held at the hotel and became famous for cuisine, fellowship, entertainment, and your club, this club, was particularly known for its singing. In fact, I remember they used to say this was the singing club, and we've got some great voices now, so it helps a lot. But your club was more than a weekly gathering of congenial spirits. We gave leadership to ongoing community activities, including campaigns that gave leadership to produce the YMCA in 1921, the first community chest in 1922, Easton's large new hospital in 1930, and many successful war bond drives. Providing educational opportunities for worthy Easton students would become a major activity of your club through the Kiwanis Scholarship Program. But this initiative came to a halt in the early 1960s due to a slow economy and a decline in postgraduate repayment of student loans. Older members of your club refused to lose by default on this activity of such a community benefit, and as a result, outstanding loans were substantially reduced. So we were kind of like, at the time, bankrolling students at Lafayette. They would take loans from the Kiwanis Club, couldn't pay them back, so some of the more well-to-do members stepped in and took care of that. So, on April 12th of 1963, the Kiwanis Foundation of Easton was incorporated, and to this day continues your club's focus on education and other community initiatives. It's estimated that over the years, the foundation has contributed significantly over $1 million to various projects. That's a lot of money for a club our size. A partial list of the benefiting local organizations includes the Family YMCA and its day camp, Salvation Army, Boys and Girls Club of Easton, including a major project of ours, which was the community garden and playground, the Rotary Miracle League Field, Special Olympics, Muller Foundation Center, State Theater, Project of Easton, Children's Home of Easton, Hugh Moore Park, 3rd Street Alliance, Books for Kids, Spring Garden Children's Center, Easton Hospital, Valley Health Foundation, the Siegel Museum, George Taylor House, Head Start, the Oasis Library Installation, Family Connection, Foundation of Easton Schools, Valley Youth House, and of course the annual IU20 Christmas party, which we host. This year, 1923, we were fortunate enough to be able, the foundation was fortunate enough to be able to put into play $23,000, and that was given to the Northampton County Historical and Genealogical Society, Recovery Revolution, Easton Area Community Center, Valley Central YMCA, Project of Easton, and the State Theater Freddie Awards. So every year we're able to provide many benefits to the local economy. And Ken up there on the screen from zooming in from Washington State, Ken Wildrick is president of the foundation and does a great job of making sure we stay on track with that. In 1987, we celebrated a significant milestone when Evelyn Gulick, a consultant and community leader, was received as the first female member of the Kiwanis Club of Easton. Can you believe it? 1987. In 1982, our own Joanne Capilano, Joanne right down there, raise your hand. Joanne Capilano, a bank vice president and a tough businesswoman, because I remember her from those days, and still an active member of our club, was named president. So Yeah, 1987, the first female, 1992, first female president. And today, where would we be without them? You. I do remember when we used to, this is not proud to say this, but I remember when we used to have meetings at the Papa Club that our female members could not enter the bar at the Papa Club, right?
Yeah.
That was not permitted at the time. We've come a long way, a very long way, thankfully. While there are many more details regarding the history of this wonderful organization to be told, details that you will come to learn through the relationships that you develop with other members, it is our hope that you now have a greater appreciation for the rich heritage of your club, whose original model was "We build," but has evolved into serving the children of the world. Likewise, your Kiwanis Club of Easton will continue to evolve. A club is only as good as its members, and in welcoming you as a new member, ours has just gotten better. So congratulations and welcome. And I'll give you a very, very own copy of the history of Kiwanis Club of Easton.
Actually, I'm going to ask Neil to introduce you before we continue on with our ceremony.
Couple things first. You can see what a nice club we have, because nobody, when Roger brought up that it was a site downtown, nobody brought up that he was there. Okay.
Founding member.
We had one other inductee today, but make it Jessica Chappelle. She has storm damage at their house. I guess they have no power from what Bill and I got this morning, so we'll have to do that.
And their daycare is not open because it had damage and they've got children.
So she won't be here today. But Sharon, if you'd come up, I think most of you know Sharon by now. She's also a resident of Forks Township. And I'll have Jake go up and do the induction ceremony.
Before we start, we're going to all remember why we're here, and we're going to read off your program. We'll take a few moments to reflect on the objects of Kiwanis. Read with me. Starting out with the first one: to give primacy to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life. To encourage the daily living of the golden rule in all human relationships. To promote the adoption and the application of higher social, business, and professional standards. To develop by precept and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship. To provide through Kiwanis clubs a practical means to form enduring friendships, to render altruistic service, and to build better communities. To cooperate in creating and maintaining that sound public opinion and high idealism which make possible the increase of righteousness, justice, patriotism, and goodwill. Thank you very much. Kiwanis is something that's so good that we want to share it, and we want you to share it. And there's not another better evidence of willingness to share than to sponsor a new member into the club. And Kiwanians care about our community. We join clubs to connect with other servant leaders, to multiply their impact, our impact, and to make the community better. We give our time, they give their time to talents which enrich the lives of children. That's the bottom line, is enriching the lives of children. So today we're pleased to welcome you and your sponsor, Neil and Sharon. We're going to present you with your official certificate of membership and your Kiwanis pin. So by presenting this official certificate of membership and this Kiwanis pin, I'm just going to turn for the camera here so Ken can see. We welcome you into the Kiwanis Club of Easton and into a global organization of volunteers dedicated to changing the world, one child and one community at a time. So Neil's gonna give that to you.
There's your certificate.
There's your certificate. There's the six objects, other information. Neil, I'll turn that over to you.
Today I'm honored to share with Sharon the benefits of belonging to Kiwanis: meaningful service, great friendships, and fun. I know you will receive great satisfaction from serving others. On behalf of our club, thank you for caring about our community and for joining Kiwanis to make it better. Thank you for offering your time and talents to improve the lives of children.
Thank you, Neil.
What I have here is another packet of information. Walt will be explaining this to you in a short period of time. We have several brochures, more information, and most importantly, Kiwanis is a verb. You'll hear that several times while you're in the club. So I'd like to also present you with all this additional information that you can read at your leisure.
So Neil, the club thanks you for your willingness to share the values of service, fellowship, and leadership in Kiwanis with Sharon. And we always welcome new members, and new members means new vitality, new diversity, new energy. And we're excited to help you along, walk alongside in your path as you learn about Kiwanis and become an active member of our club. And we look forward to hearing your ideas on what you think and how you feel you can contribute as well. Would you like to say a few words? Introduce yourself. And let me ask you a question. How did you come to learn about Kiwanis?
I saw a Facebook post about when there was the fires and you were, donating money towards all the victims of, I forget when that was, 2 months ago?
Yeah, it was Memorial Day. It was Memorial Day.
So it just dawned on me, gee, that would be good. And you're located so close to me. This would be a good thing to get started with.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So do you have do you have a professional life, or do you
No, I am retired special ed teacher for many years now.
We'll find some commonality here.
And looking for things to do. So I thought this would be a good start too. And I always like to, I've done different kinds of volunteering in the past and felt I need to be doing that again. So here I am.
That's great. That's great. All right. Thank you so much. We'll let you sit down again. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
It's official now. You have a name tag. So the rules about the name tag is they go in that little box at the end. You can pick them up at the beginning of the meeting and drop them back off at the end of the meeting, so we have them all together.
And it may need to be updated to list on the back of the lid.
Yeah. The good thing, her last initial is W, so it's at the end, so she won't be changing everybody.
That's right. That's right. Any other comments, Neil?
Just one comment, Sharon. We welcome you. We'd like you to get active. I was recruiting a mentor for you this morning. If you would be willing to accept a mentor.
Sure.
That mentor is sitting to your right. And beyond that, some of the other new members that we haven't seen for a while, start making contacts with them and get them back into the club or get them acclimated to some of our activities. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Neil. Walt, I'm going to pass you the microphone and let you read your. Yep.
Okay. All right, Sharon, I want to welcome you too as a Kiwanis member, and I have agreed when it comes to new members to give you some ideas about what we do here and how you fit into the Kiwanis, both locally, within the state, and within the organization as far as Kiwanis International. Normally, our procedure has been when our president opens a meeting by ringing the Kiwanis bell. Why, we usually start off the meeting by doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we generally sing some type of a patriotic song, which is the decision of the current president, or the president at the time the person is, or that they're deciding what song. Every once in a while, James decides to throw in something different than God Bless America.
Got to keep them on their toes, right?
course, I got to remember the words to that. That's important.
But some of the other traditions, and these go back a way. I've been a member for 33 years, so some of these things we haven't done in a long time. But we do clapping at times, just clapping in general. We have had a tradition in the past of doing one clap. Like if you ever decide to go to the state convention, you would hear whoever the presenter is, or the governor, or whoever the master of ceremonies is, as they start to name all of the new incoming lieutenant governors and the governor and so forth like that. They'll tell everybody that's in attendance at the banquet, which is usually when it takes place, to hold your applause until they get done identifying everybody that's being inducted. And we have one clap, say just one clap. And
simultaneously.
There's another one. There's another one that we still do sometimes, which is called a round of applause. So that's kind of fun things that we do. The structure of Kiwanis, so you know, you just became a member of the local club. We are part of a number of other clubs, which are in Division 17 and Division 18. Neil, let me ask you a question. Is that stuff actually in the folder there? There you go. Okay. That's a little later. Let me, as that's at the top, let me explain that to you then. At the heart, in the center is the heart. That's where each individual member is in their respective club. They're in the center of the club. Going out in the circle, we're part of Division 17-18. We're also part of Region 6. There are 7 regions within the District of Pennsylvania. We're part of Region 6, which are 17 and 18, and then further north of us, up around Wilkes-Barre and Scranton and so forth like that, Wyoming Valley, that's part of Division 17. But these 3 divisions make up part of Region 6. As far as districts, there are 49 districts within the state of Pennsylvania. And then there's Kiwanis International. Overall, you're a member of Kiwanis International. So, but each member is part of the club. So that's where you come into this. As far as some procedures that we do as it pertains to recognizing certain Kiwanis officials, you will hear us talk about a lieutenant governor. Currently, our lieutenant governor for Division 17, Division 18 is Robert Moran. He's a member of the Palmer Township Kiwanis Club. Okay. We also have a trustee. Her name is Tiffany Kaleo, and she's actually a member of the Wyoming Area Club. She's the person that oversees the operations of all of the 3 clubs within Region 6. Okay, and then we have the governor, our current governor. Actually, this is his pin. Batman. I was going to say Superman. Batman is his thing. Michael Kubal, and he's a member of a club from up north of us. He's going to continue to be our governor until September 30th, and then there's going to be a new person coming in. Actually, they'll be identified at the district convention, which actually starts tomorrow up in Scranton at the Hilton in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then you have international trustees. There's one assigned to each of the districts. So we have one. Actually, that person is going to be at the district convention. I can't remember the young lady's name off the top of my head, but she's going to be helping us at the district convention. And then you, besides the trustees, then you have your committee chairs, international, and then your presidents and your president-elect and similar offices like we have here at the local level. One of the things that had happened in the past, which hasn't happened lately, is whenever the trustee sets up a regional meeting, generally hang on a second here. Yes, during a regional meeting, some of the clubs at the regional meeting will make a donation towards the district governor's theme project or thing that he identifies that like someone want clubs to help with providing books for children and other different things. So oftentimes at regional meetings, the current governor would identify what theme they're going to have and what the money would go towards. So some of the clubs during the regional meeting will come up and give money to the district governor to go towards whatever his theme is, or her theme, I should say. Kiwanis officials, which is usually the lieutenant governor and above, usually have their meal paid for by the club that they're visiting. So, and the Kiwanis statement, actually, our president James has already mentioned that to you. But the Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. We ask that you wear your Kiwanis name pin, or your pin. You got a little pin there as a member, but also your name. You get to wear them at the meeting. There you go. And try as best you can to be familiar with the 6 objects of Kiwanis. They have not changed since 1917. And interesting, although we were all reading off of them, I noticed something on our new banner. 6 objects of Kiwanis are now listed under there, right under the chartering date of our organization. So that's my spiel. I have a card for you since I agreed to do the orientations. I will give you a card if you have any questions. If I don't know the answer, I gave you a card already. Okay, it's a good thing my memory is bad. If you have any questions, you can call me. You have my card.
Thank you, Walt. Thank you very much. So you talked about districts. Each state is a district. So Pennsylvania is a district. And yearly, the district has a convention. The Pennsylvania district is being held starting tomorrow through the weekend up in Scranton. And we have some people going. Janet and I are going. Walt's going. I'm not sure if anybody else is going. Bill are going. Yeah, thank you.
We're going. Neil and Sue are going.
Neil and Sue are
going.
Yeah, good. So we have quite a few members that are going to the district convention up in Scranton starting tomorrow.
Let me make a comment.
The baseball game.
We don't want a new member to totally think that it's exactly what you said. The Kiwanis districts are not by state. Some states are districts, but then you take Eastern Canada and the Caribbean, that's a district. Just think where they have their conventions. We have ours in some states.
You got
That's pretty.
Calneva.
California, Nevada, Hawaii.
Yeah.
What do you think they have?
Yeah.
Maui. Let's go to Maui.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Maui's on fire.
Yeah, that is true. Right. Welcome, and it's exciting to have you here. It really is. It's always exciting to have new members. And, you know, I love coming here on Wednesdays. This has become like a family, and we work together.
We do a lot of great things together. There's a lot of great camaraderie. There's a lot of laughter, friendship, love, appreciation, encouragement, support. And, you know, you just don't get that very many places in our society anymore. And so coming here on Wednesday is really a wonderful thing to be with my family, you know. Before we go on. Well, okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to.
Are we singing?
Yeah, we have to sing, but okay. So somebody lead.
You're in Kiwanis, stand up. You're in Kiwanis now.
You're gonna have fun, your son.
Sometimes.
There are, I guess on our website.
I haven't put the words on the new webpage.
Okay. I can print from somewhere that I have. There are songs that we sing on the street.
There is a grassroots movement to become for us to become a singing club again. I am judging from some of the looks on the members' faces. It's not unanimous.
Yeah, but it's fun to see the faces of what we're singing to when we do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like the district organization, we have our organization as well. We have club officers, president, vice president, president-elect is Scott. Vice president is Carrie, and we have our secretary outgoing is Bill, and new incoming secretary is Rosemary. Gary Tempest is our treasurer, and Bill is also the
Manager of special projects.
manager of
there you
projects.
He gets 3 times as much pay as a secretary, but it's got 3 words.
And then we have committees. We have a membership committee. Neil's the chairman of the membership committee. We have a hospitality committee. We have a newsletter, communications. Sue and Terry work on our newsletter. So there's a lot of there's other committees. Walt is chairman of the SLP and warrants committees. So we've got a lot of activity, and then they don't do this all by themselves. So there's committee members who provide assistance and stuff like that. So moving on with our meeting here, as our food is beginning to arrive. Do we have any updates from committee chairs? Walt, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah. Neil, I guess Neil started this actually. He had mentioned several weeks back the possibility of having a service leadership program out at St. James Elementary School. We, Neil and Sue and I met with Mary Beth Akula, the principal, and one of their other teachers, Mr. Josh Dicker, and we gave them a presentation about what kind of clubs we have available, and they're most interested right now in possibly having a K-Kids program, as long as it gets approved by the board of directors, and the possibility, if that goes well, maybe next year actually them having a builders club for the upper elementary school, since they have K through 8. So it would be their initial idea is to have a K-Kids program, which would be the possibly 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And if things go well, maybe have 7th and 8th grade builders club possibly next year.
So that brings to mind, this is a very important part of Kiwanis, the service leadership programs for children of all ages. Would you highlight exactly what that is, starting off with younger grades and going all the way up to college?
Okay, yes, there are several service leadership programs within Kiwanis International. The lowest level would be elementary school students, and it's known as K-Kids. And then it goes on to the middle or intermediate schools with some school districts, which is known as the Builders Club. And then from there, once the students get to high school, they have the opportunity to become a member of a key club. And then some universities and colleges have a Kiwanis sponsored group for students to become members of Circle K International. And then there's also one of the more recent types of clubs, which would probably interest you more than anything. And we've talked about the possibility of starting that. It's called an action club, which is people that have physical and mental challenges. That would be mostly it's adults that I'm familiar with, but they're called action clubs. AKTION. And then there's also another it's a service leadership program, but it only lasts for like 3 days, and it's called the
Key leader.
Key leader. Yes, key leader, which we're generally high school students that may not be involved actually in a key club get to go for a 3-day camp, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday camp, and learn how to get involved in teamwork and being challenged in some physical activities and mental, working through mental programs as part of a team. So those are the kind of service leadership programs that Kiwanis International offers. And in the past, we had actually had 4 K-Kids programs. We had a builders club, and actually the last 2 years with the assistance of Kathy Heller, a retired Nazareth teacher. She is the Kiwanis advisor for our new Key Club, which we took over when the Nazareth Club, which was Kathy was a member of, when they decided to turn their charter back in a couple of years ago. We agreed to take over the Key Club up at Nazareth High School. Currently, I'm working on trying to get we still have one that's active at Shawnee. I'm still trying to get the other 3 back on board. Probably hopeful that we'll get the K-Kids out of St. James. And our president has challenged me to try to get a K-Kids going up at Forks Elementary School. So since I knew the principal who was actually the person that signed the charter when she was the principal at the Easton Middle School, Dr. Simia. She's familiar with Kiwanis programs, and I'm going to try to get the New Forks Township, get back March Elementary School, get Paxinosa and Cheston back online again.
Thanks, Walt. So this is one of the things that distinguishes Kiwanis as a service organization over and above other service organizations. Like, I don't want to look down on anybody, but I don't know of any other service organizations that have leadership, development, service, volunteerism, development for children at all ages. Now, of course, COVID cut us off at the knees for our neighbors clubs. And it's been very tough coming back from that because we need a faculty advisor, someone who's going to step up. And as you know, teachers are overworked, underpaid, they're stretched thin, and it's an additional duty for them. And many are reluctant to step up into that role. So we're continually looking for people who are willing and able to do that, and it's a critical piece of what Kiwanis does for children.
So, for example, what does the faculty advisor do? I mean, suppose St. James board says yes, we want to do it. What happens?
You just oversee that you just kind of, as a faculty advisor, you just oversee that the meeting kind of runs organized and calmly. You guide them with each of our clubs as being leadership clubs. Each club elects their own officers, and then it's up to the membership of the particular club, whether it's K-Kids, the Builders Club, Key Club. They're the ones that decide. You want them motivated, so they decide what kind of projects, what kind of things, what kind of activities they want to do. Faculty advisor or the Kiwanis advisor can make some suggestions to give them something to think about, but basically the members of the respective club, the school club, they run the meetings. We're just there for guidance.
Walt must have mentioned that 3 times yesterday when we had the meeting on Monday. The kids that decide what they're going to do.
Right. So, as an example, what have some of the little kids done in K Club and at other places where you've had a K Club? What have they done?
Well, Okay, they let me see. Well, I can think of right off the top of my head, Shawnee. One of the messy projects that they do at the end of the year is they make biscuits for the animals out at the wellness center, the former SPCA. That's something they really look for, and that's just at Shawnee. But in some of the other clubs in the past, they've written holiday cards like Valentine cards, Christmas cards, birthday cards to some people. Well, actually, when we had the senior home there in the 1000 block of Northampton Street, Paxinosa used to do that. Used to write holiday cards to the residents down there. I can remember one year they actually made little seedling planters for each one of the residents' rooms, and we actually ran them down there that time because we left the school and it started raining. But they made those over at the Cheston when we had the program over there, the K kids over there. I can remember that one of the teachers had a nephew that was overseas in Iraq. They got the student, the faculty advisor, got the members of the K kids to write letters to the students, and then it went further. They decided that they wanted to collect stuff to send over there, like care packages to the units. So it was their task to now find out, could they do this? How could they do this? What was it going to cost? But they did it. They collected things like the socks. I'm just trying. I can't remember all the things, but they literally, this is something that they followed through on, and they got these things packaged up and actually delivered to one of the bases over there. It was either in Iraq or Afghanistan. I can't remember. I know the one went to Iraq, and that was the nephew of one of the teachers. And I think after that, I think it was one of the other teachers knew of somebody who was stationed over in Afghanistan. So that's when they decided they wanted to collect things that the military personnel might find helpful.
Basically teaches the children to think more than about themselves. Teaching them like they're in school, how they can help their school. Yeah. Teaching them to think about how they might be able to help their community. And in one case, it teaches them how to help beyond the community. So it's a learning process to teach them that the world doesn't revolve around them, but they can help other people.
Do they decide the frequency of their meetings? And
usually it's it's about once a month. It depends on how often the faculty advisor wants to take the time. I'll tell you another one that Skip and I can remember when we were helping out up at March Elementary School. They got invited 3 years in a row up to Lafayette College to have lunch and to do a presentation about the Martin Luther King Day, the significance of Martin Luther King. They were invited 3 different times, 3 different years up to Lafayette College to do a presentation up there. That was kind of special for them. Scary, but special.
Do they volunteer into the club, or does the faculty advisor select kids?
Well, they generally volunteer, but in some cases the teacher may pick out who they want to be members. Like with Shawnee, they had as many as 100 members in years past. They narrowed it down to 50 this last 2 years because it was just becoming too overwhelming, number one. And number two, they moved us out of a community room from a couple years ago before go into Mr. Ellison's classroom. And he just couldn't handle any more than 50 students in the classroom.
I don't know that the 1K Kids is operational anymore, but one of the things it discovered is this BC before COVID. I think this was over at Cheston. They kept seeing paper going in the wastebasket. And the local Meals on Wheels was asking for people to collect one-sided paper, white one-sided paper, printed one side, from organizations that are throwing it away because they use it for their hundreds of route sheets every day and they're used once. So we talked to the kids, Walt talked to the kids, and the kids started doing dumpster diving. They would go through the garbage cans, pulling out all the one-sided paper. Then they realized that the school district, being a business in Easton, is not required to collect recyclables. Businesses are not required in Easton to collect recyclables, especially the school district. And so the kids saw things were going in the garbage cans that should be recyclable. So they came to us and they investigated on their own what a particular size garbage can was going to cost. We got them a little bit cheaper than they could. So we delivered like 60 or 70 of these recycled cans that went to all the classrooms with the K kids. Again, this is several years back, so I really don't know what's happening anymore because there's no K kids. But that's what those kids get involved with. And then the other thing was they heard about aluminum pop-top cans, labels. So they learned what they were for. And they had a collection of those. They had five-gallon buckets full of them that we had someone take to Philadelphia to the Ronald McDonald House.
I was Kiwanis advisor 5 years when I was at Schaefer Elementary School. And those kids, they just got so excited. We did a We Deliver program, which was a mailing program, where the kids had a part of their day where they were given the opportunity to write notes to some upperclassmen and ask them questions. And it was a really cool program. We walked in the Halloween parade with the Kiwanis Club as part of the Kiwanis family. We did a whole recycling program at Schaefer Elementary School. It was just an awesome way to get kids knowledgeable about their environment. We also did walkathons because one of our teachers, Mr. Johnson, a former veteran, he wanted so badly to have a memorial garden at Schaefer. So the Kiwanis kids actually did walkathons to raise money. And that whole program cost $10,000. And our kids, actually, the K kids were the ones that raised the funds for that. So, you know, don't think little kids can't do anything because they really think, you know, volunteering is awesome. Yeah, and it's a start.
Yeah. And so get them early.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we went to Grace Day too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, the children just love that.
Didn't you have a pen pals thing going there for a while too?
We did.
Actually, we did. Yeah, when COVID started and the kids were out of school, I had by being in schools, I had contact with the people, two of the teachers that were part of the community and service back to know. I was also developing contacts throughout the world with different of our Kiwanis members who had some affiliation or had connections with some elementary schools throughout the world. And so I come up with this idea. When I was in elementary school, I had a pen pal over in England. And I thought, well, this might be something that might interest these kids to have a pen pal from some other country. So I talked it over with one of the two persons that I knew from community. And we initially started with their fourth grade students writing letters to some of Kathy's contacts there over in Nazareth. And then they moved it over to exchanging letters with some kids up at March, fourth graders at March Elementary, so Paxinosa and March. And I had some people from Jamaica, from Nepal, from the Philippines, from Uganda, Africa, that had connections with elementary schools that were willing and ready to see this go forward. And by the time we got this all kind of worked out, by then the students were starting to go back into school again. That program just kind of died, but the opportunity was there, and it did take place a little bit for kids to be able to have pen pals, and during the start and continuation through COVID.
That might look better.
Oh, thank you. So, you can see that we have quite a robust activity calendar. And another thing that's coming up is annually we honor the Easton Policeman of the Year, the Easton Firefighter of the Year, and the Easton Area EMS of the Year. And the EMS of the Year is occurring next Wednesday on the 16th at the Pomfret Club. And that begins at noon. Are we past the deadline to
No, Neil has reserved 23 spaces and I have 22.
Okay.
People indicating that they
okay.
that
All right.
they plan to attend.
Okay.
So most everybody has paid, there are a few that
Okay.
haven't, so we can
All right. So
collect money at the door.
I was saying if you're interested in going and you haven't made that commitment, made the payment yet, today is probably a good day to get that done. It's $25 and starts at noon at the Pomfret Club.
And if it's after today, it's okay. If it's just changed, they can attend. We can always add.
Yeah.
They handled the Policeman of the Year award. We put 40 and we wound up with 50 people, and somehow they handled it. So
Somehow they handle it. All right. Yeah.
One thing that wasn't mentioned for Sharon, one thing that wasn't mentioned from Sharon is that everything we do, there's no overhead. Any money that we raise goes directly to the kids. And we have several fundraising efforts during the year. We have the super raffle, which we just finished leading. We have the road sale, which
Barb's going to announce about it today.
okay, we have the road sale
Coming up.
So, and there may be other opportunities to raise money during the year. But all the money we raise, it goes directly back to the kids that we want to serve. Nothing gets absorbed by the club.
Yeah.
There's no overhead.
Right.